family locked me in a role I never chose. From the moment I could remember, my family had a script for me. I didn't get to choose my role. They handed it to me like a uniform I had to wear. And over the years, I was forced to fit into it, or else. They decided who I should be, how I should behave, and where my life was meant to go. My existence was molded by their expectations, suffocating under the weight of what they needed me to be, not who I was. It started when I was young. My parents, Carlos and Elena, had a clear picture of what their children should look like. Perfect grades, quiet behavior, the right balance of obedient and successful. I remember being told constantly how proud they were of my brother Daniel for being the perfect son, while I, the daughter, was expected to be even more. Don't be like your brother, be better, my father would say. You're the girl in the family. It's your job to make us proud. Those words sank into my skin, forming the invisible chains that bound me to a life I never asked for. They weren't bad parents, not in the traditional sense. They loved me, but their love came with terms and conditions, unspoken rules about who I should be. I wasn't allowed to have dreams that diverged from their vision. Every choice I made was scrutinized, critiqued, compared to their ideal. They couldn't understand why I didn't want to take the safe route, why I refused to become the perfect version of their expectations. You should go into law or medicine, my mother would insist. It's the only way to succeed. You don't want to be like those who settle for less. But I didn't want those careers. I wanted to paint, to write, to create something of my own. Those dreams weren't part of the role they had cast me in. The tension grew as I got older. When I chose to study art, they acted as though I had committed betrayal. Do you think you'll ever make a living from that? My father sneered. You'll end up disappointed like the others who chased useless dreams. At first, I didn't care. I thought I could carve my path, escape the box they had built. But the more I tried to break free, the tighter it got. They told me how to live, what friends to keep, even who I should marry. Their ideal version of me was always out of reach, and the harder I tried to live authentically, the more they pushed me into a mold that wasn't mine. Eventually, I started giving in. It was easier to appease them, to make them proud, even if it meant suffocating my desires. I followed the path they had drawn, suppressing the voice inside that longed for something else. I became the person they wanted, but with every step, I lost more of myself. Years later, I realized the truth. I had spent my whole life locked inside a role never meant for me. I had been trapped in a life I hadn't chosen, living for others, not myself. I no longer knew who I was, what I wanted, or even what I was capable of if I stepped outside the lines they had drawn. But one day, I decided to stop playing the part. I left the career I had followed out of obligation, and for the first time in my life, I allowed myself to breathe, to be the person I had always been afraid to be. It was terrifying. The fear of their disapproval, the weight of their expectations, still clung to me. But as I took those first steps into my own life, I began to see that there was more to me than the role they had assigned. It hasn't been easy, and I'm still learning to reclaim the parts of myself I buried under their demands. But I know now I am not their creation. I am my own, and no matter how long it takes, I will no longer be locked in a role I never chose.